Once the door closed, I heard my father. He ran up the stairs and all I could hear was moaning. Yeah. Once I heard him starting to move, that's when I pulled out the phone and I was trying to call 911.
Where are you, ma'am?
Please just don't call me. I don't know where my parents are.
Ma'am, calm down. What?
Some people broke into our house and tried to show us all his money. And I can hear my parents yelling downstairs. Please send me home.
Ma'am, where are you? What?
Avenue.
Avenue Road.
Yes.
Can you spell the street name for me, please?
Dad.
When a frightened young woman contacts the authorities to recount a harrowing tale of a home invasion and the tragic loss of lives, few would question the sincerity of her distress. However, the intricacies of such horrifying incidents are often far from straightforward. On the 8th of November 2010, a trio of armed assailants forcefully entered the Pan family residence, nestled in the opulent suburban expanse of Unionville in Markham, Ontario. With menacing firearms in hand, they subjected Jennifer Pan's terror-stricken parents, Han and Bick, to a nightmarish ordeal. Their intrusion led to the systematic pillaging of the household, with demands echoing for every last bit of currency within reach. Subsequently, having seized all the readily available treasures, the intruders callously compelled Bick and Han into the confines of the basement. Once inside this dim refuge, a chilling escalation unfolded as both parents were subjected to a barrage of gunfire. Bick succumbed to the fatal onslaught, while Han, miraculously escaping immediate demise, clung to life, nursing grievous wounds. Urgently, he was whisked away to Markham Stouffville Hospital, and later, in a race against time, airlifted to the critical care expanse of the trauma unit at Sunnybrook Hospital in Toronto. The chronicle of that ominous night began to unravel, shrouded in the dark tapestry of tragedy. When Jennifer Pan initially reached out to the authorities, her demeanor mirrored the expectations of anyone thrust into a nightmarish scenario. Enveloped in shock and acute distress, she admirably clung to a semblance of composure while narrating her version of the gruesome events. However, as investigators delved deeper, fissures emerged in Jennifer's narrative, unraveling a more complex reality beneath the facade of an innocent victim. Behind the veneer lay a meticulously crafted plan, a cold-blooded scheme orchestrated to reap the benefits of her parents' life insurance policies through a calculated act of murder.
Now I want you to sort of take yourself back to earlier on today, yesterday, meaning the 8th of November.
Like the standard protocol for witness interviews, Jennifer's session commenced with the detective prompting her to chronicle the unfolding events of the fateful day, yet her behavior betrayed an inconsistency that defied the gravity of the harrowing experience she purportedly endured. In the early stages of the interview, her peculiar description of the intruders as gentlemen stood out, resembling more a recitation of a rehearsed script than the genuine grappling with a living nightmare.
And then, for some reason, I think one of the gentlemen asked my father if he had money in his wallet and where his wallet was. They kept all the lights off on the main floor. The only time there was light was when they opened the fridge door to see if they could find where my mom's purse was.
As she recounted the heinous actions of the invaders, who invaded her sanctuary, held her at gunpoint, and inflicted fatal harm upon her mother, an unsettling calmness pervaded Jennifer's demeanor. Despite the proximity to the home invasion, she displayed an unnaturally composed recollection of the events, devoid of the expected outpouring of grief or the chaotic disarray one might anticipate. This conspicuous detachment raised the detective's suspicion throughout the initial interrogation. Jennifer's peculiar approach to the dire circumstances persisted, as she navigated the interview with an unusual degree of equanimity, seamlessly alternating between maintaining an uncanny calm and sporadically engaging in almost theatrical exhibitions of sorrow. It was as if she were abruptly remembering the role she was meant to portray, weaving a complex web of deception beneath the surface of her carefully constructed narrative. The detective sensed a discord, between the purported trauma and Jennifer's unnervingly controlled response, setting the stage for a deeper exploration into the enigmatic layers of her involvement.
Basically, they had made the first round, or pop, and they had said, okay, that's enough. Let's go.
Even as Jennifer recollected the haunting echoes of her parents' gunfire-ridden fate in the basement, an eerie detachment pervaded her account. Her narrative unfolded as if she were an onlooker from a distance, rather than a central figure immersed in the heart-wrenching events, while, on the surface, Jennifer remained the apparent innocent victim. Investigators began harboring reservations about the authenticity of her testimony. The small yet discernible inconsistencies sowed seeds of doubt, prompting a pivotal decision that would unravel unforeseen layers in their pursuit of truth. Just 2 days later, Jennifer found herself back in the interrogation room, visibly more anxious, ostensibly seeking further clarification of the crime's details. The detectives in charge were covertly constructing a case against the very person they initially deemed a victim. In this subsequent interview, a jittery Jennifer embarked on a second retelling of the crime, unknowingly teetering on the precipice of her own undoing.
And you're now on the ground level? Are you on the floor? Or on the
I'm sitting on the
stairs?
floor. I'm sitting on the floor.
All right, where are your hands?
They had tied my hands.
So let's
as
go.
I said.
You're now bound to the railing. Can you show me? Can you stand up and turn around and tell me, just show on the camera, how your hands are bound?
Throughout the recounting, Jennifer adhered to the consistency of her earlier statements. However, a critical lapse occurred when she neglected to mention a crucial detail: her being bound before the descent into the basement. The detective, astutely honing in on this omission, posed the logical query of how, with restrained hands, she managed to make the crucial 911 call here in an unforeseen stroke of fortune. Jennifer physically demonstrated a movement, a seemingly fortuitous ability to stand and reach her phone, averting immediate suspicion.
And how do you make the phone call? 911?
Mm-hmm.
And do you talk down like that?
Yes, I'm yelling at the phone like this.
While this segment of Jennifer's narrative appears marginally plausible, she unwittingly supplies detectives with yet another inconsistency in her account, particularly concerning the aftermath of the intruder's departure.
Once the door closed, I heard my father. He ran up the stairs and all I could hear was moaning. God. Once I heard him starting to move, that's when I pulled out the phone and I was trying to call 911.
Detectives, armed with the knowledge that the chronology presented is askew, scrutinized the 911 call recording, pinpointing the precise moment when doubt creeps into Jennifer's voice. The investigators' line of inquiry shifts, delving beyond the immediate crime scene into Jennifer's past, unearthing a tumultuous relationship with her parents, characterized by lofty academic expectations and an intrusive involvement in her personal affairs, bordering on abuse.
Did your mom know that you weren't going to university?
No.
And from 17 to 20, 21, they didn't know about the relationship.
Through a series of interviews, detectives unearth a pattern of constant deception Jennifer employed as a coping mechanism against her parents' oppressive parenting style, fabricating high school report cards and a fictitious acceptance letter from the University of Toronto. Jennifer sought permission to lodge near the campus with a friend, all while clandestinely residing with Daniel Wong, a forbidden on-and-off boyfriend and an active marijuana dealer. Discovering her clandestine relationship, her parents issued an ultimatum: sever ties with Wong and focus solely on education or face dissoundment. This ultimatum became the catalyst that propelled Jennifer over the brink. Enlisting the assistance of Daniel Wong, Jennifer orchestrated a violent burglary with the involvement of two men, David Milvicanham and Eric Hardy. Their directive was clear: ransack the family home and carry out the heinous act of murdering her parents. Jennifer facilitated their entry by unlocking the front door, creating a stark juxtaposition between the savagery unleashed upon her parents and her own unscathed state, this incongruity became a focal point for the detective spearheading the investigation, establishing a rapport with the suspect. Detectives edged closer to the critical juncture where they could confront Jennifer about her web of lies. Meanwhile, Jennifer's father, having emerged from a comatose state, provided investigators with his version of events, diverging significantly from his daughter's testimony. Central to his recollection was the assertion that Jennifer was untethered, moving freely during her interactions with the purported intruders. Contradicting her claim of being bound, the convergence of these conflicting narratives set the stage for a pivotal confrontation, bringing the investigation to a precipice where truth and deception would collide in a tumultuous revelation.
Now, do you think there's any reason why they tied you up and didn't tie your parents up?
I don't know.
And does it make sense that they would leave a witness behind? If they were going to kill somebody? Does that make sense?
I guess
Now, what we need to get down to here today, Jen, is what really happened. You need to tell me what went on, yeah? When did you first start planning this? When was the final straw? What was the final straw?
In the relentless pursuit of extracting the precise details of Jennifer's involvement, the investigators found themselves entangled in a web of deceit. Jennifer, steadfast in her determination to evade incriminating questions, mirrored the initial moments of her questioning, the investigators, strategically aiming to entrap her in a labyrinthine web of falsehoods, applied relentless pressure, hoping to compel her to finally confess the truth, her orchestration of a sinister plot to eliminate her parents.
Okay. So who did you get to do this then? You have to tell me, Jen.
I don't know who he is. I just got his number.
You've told so much of the truth, you're just not telling the final portion. This isn't even half-truths anymore. This is 3/4, okay? The only thing missing is 1/4 of the truth, okay?
Despite an additional hour of meticulous interrogation, where every question aimed to unravel the layers of her involvement, Jennifer remained resolute in withholding a full admission of her role in the crime, her adept evasion tactics, a testament to her commitment to obfuscate the truth, couldn't completely shield her from the mounting evidence. The investigators, armed with a trove of incriminating details, reached a pivotal juncture where they had garnered sufficient evidence to file charges against her.
I need you to listen close to me, okay, Jen? At this point in the investigation, okay, I'm going to be arresting you for murder, okay? Also attempted murder and conspiracy to commit murder.
The interrogation footage, a crucial artifact in the ensuing legal proceedings, played a decisive role in Jennifer's trial. Persisting in her denial and entering a plea of not guilty, Jennifer, along with her co-conspirators, faced the gravity of their actions. The judicial verdict delivered a life sentence without the possibility of parole for 25 years. Jennifer, now 34, resides behind the walls of the Grand Valley Institution for Women in Kitchener, Ontario, a stark reminder of the consequences of her calculated malevolence as November 2035 approaches. Jennifer, incarcerated for over 2 decades, will become eligible for parole at the age of 49. The haunting legacy of her actions remains etched in the annals of criminal history, a testament to the intricate unraveling of a dark conspiracy that shattered the tranquility of a suburban home in Markham, Ontario.